Lamar Jackson to Detroit stuff.
Lamar Jackson is interesting because on one hand, he is the greatest running quarterback who has ever played NFL football. The numbers play that out. And just watching him on the field, he runs like a running back. His passing, I'm not going to say it's a concern, but he's only thrown for 3,000 yards in a season one time. And when I saw that stat, I was absolutely baffled. So I'm not sure if I want to make him the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL. Although as a weapon, obviously you say, yes, he's a former MVP.
Yeah.
He gets them to the playoffs seemingly every year. But what does he do in the playoffs? Usually a whole lot of not shit. So that scares me as of now. So I would not want Lamar Jackson to be the highest paid quarterback in NFL history on the Detroit Lions.
The other thing, too, is he hasn't thrown over that 3,000-yard mark. And part of the reason is he's only had, I think, one 16-game season.
Still,
as well.
But he's had like a 15, a 15, a 12. I believe it's a 16, a 15, a 15, and a 12. And that's 3,000 yards. That's not a high benchmark in today's NFL. We know that. Back in the 70s, 3,000 yards, big deal. In the 2020s, absolutely not. I'm not saying I dislike Lamar Jackson. He's obviously a former MVP. And I called him the single greatest running quarterback who has ever played NFL football. And to me, that's not even debatable. But to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL on the Lions, I would say no, sir.
Yeah, and he also has not really had many weapons on the outside. Obviously Mark Andrews is a stud, one of the best tight ends in the league, but outside of that, his wide receiver core has been subpar at best. Hollywood Brown is probably the best weapon he's had out there, and you watched the game against the Lions last year, he dropped like 3 touchdowns in that game alone. So I liked what I saw out of Lamar passing in week 1. I thought he did a good job. Rashad Bateman, went out there and performed on a very good level. So you got to make the call. You have to make the call. You have to see what's going on. Obviously, they still have him on this year. More than likely will franchise tag him next year if they don't get a deal done. So I don't know exactly how that'll work, but man, how exciting would that be if we brought in a guy like that?
And honestly, I'm not really tripping over the 3,000-yard mark so much either, though, because he offers so much running. I mean, he has 1,000-yard seasons. I think 2 years, 7 touchdowns straight. He's clearly a threat. My concern is not so much the passing, but just the health. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, as you get older, your body gets a little bit more, wear and tear. Running backs, they're out of the league quite quickly because of how much abuse they take. Lamar Jackson, he's not one that typically runs out of bounds. He'll try to put his shoulder down every once in a while. He'll take some contact. So, I don't know how long he'll be able to, I guess, just last in terms of, durability,
He's got a couple rounds in him.
Yeah. No, he does. It's straight up.
Yeah, that is definitely a concern. You look at other quarterbacks like that, though, the one he gets compared to the most that had as much success, I'd say, obviously not as much, but had an equally successful career as he did, is Mike Vick. Mike Vick lasted a very long time. Obviously, he was also a great pocket passer, had one of the best spirals I've ever seen. Mike Vick was a freak, but Lamar, as much as he runs, he doesn't really take that many hits because he always seems to avoid them. He always seems to go untouched. He's not getting blown up like we saw out of RG3 or like we saw out of Cam Newton or different guys like that were known to take big hits, take big shots like that, and that's what set their careers back. Even Carson Wentz, who was a pretty mobile guy, would be stupid with the way he runs and would take some big hits. Andrew Luck was a pretty mobile guy, would get out and run in the pocket and took some big hits because those guys were so, we're getting this first down, we're getting those extra yards, we're going to lower our shoulder. And that's not really how Lamar runs. Lamar runs, guys don't touch him. He avoids contact. He gets around. He makes dudes look stupid out there. I can't really remember too many hits that I've seen Lamar take where I'm like, oh, damn. You look at Cam Newton tape, you look at RG3 tape, you look at Andrew Luck tape, you see those guys, they get blown up in the middle of the field, or they even blow someone up in the middle of the field, and you're like, damn, that's it. You look at Lamar tape, he's more, on the outside, on the edges, making guys miss and running out of bounds. So I don't think the wear and tear on his body is too much of a factor just yet, because I don't see him getting hit that much.
I think just let alone the amount of games he's played tells you there's some wear and tear on him. You know what I'm saying? He's quite literally getting injured out there. But